Welcome back to JayhawkJukebox. I'm Nathaniel.
And I'm Grace.
And we're here again. Somebody's trying to expand my musical taste, and you know what? The plot has thickened so far because it has worked. So
Yes.
Grace, tell me about your song.
This week I chose Sunflower by Rex Orange County. It's kind of a different vibe than the previous songs I feel like I've done, but I don't know, I just really like this song because it's kind of upbeat, R&B indie-ish.
See, I couldn't necessarily put into one specific genre because it was a couple different things, and I could definitely tell that as that R&B influence. But I would say if you were to classify it, it'd probably be an indie. But I'm not sure which category of indie it really would be in.
I'm not sure either. But I want to hear about your song, September Girls.
By Big Star, they are one of the first indie bands. Like, the basis of all indie music really comes from them. And what I love about them is that their songs sound so modern still, and their production value was pretty low on all their albums. They only made 3, but it sounds like it was literally recorded not even 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it sounds amazing.
When I first listened to it, I didn't think it was from the 70s, to be honest.
Me listening to modern music? Please.
I know.
I doubt that.
I knew it wasn't, but it did sound like it could have been.
Now, about your artist, it was Rex Orange County,
yes.
right? What? Can you tell me a little bit more about him? Because once again, I don't know about these modern artists. I don't know what you kids listen to these days.
He's pretty young. I'm not too sure. I think he's in his 20s, but he's a guitarist and just a really great vocalist. He has a couple albums out, but I don't know. I first listened to this song like a couple years ago in high school, so that's what it reminds me of. And then I learned it on guitar. So.
Oh, you learned this on guitar too?
Yeah, so that's why I kind of picked it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, I first found out, I've been a kind of a Big Star fan for a couple of years now, but I haven't really gotten that deep in their stuff. And I have a radio show on KJHK on Sundays where I play alternative music. And I wanted to play a Big Star song I'd never heard of, and that was one I chose.
Oh, so this is recent that you've listened to?
This is pretty recent that even though I've been a Big Star fan for about 2 years now, because one of my favorite shows, that 70s show, featured one of their most popular songs in several episodes, and I was blown away by that song too. And they're probably one of my favorite bands of the 70s and probably overall favorite indie artists so far.
So I'm surprised that you just discovered this song.
Well, there's so many bands that you can get lost into.
Yeah.
I wear a different Grateful Dead shirt every week, so there's so much thousands of shows that you can get into. So there's other distractions at the time, but for a band that only made 3 albums in a short amount of time, and the unfortunate thing was that everybody loved them. They didn't make large amounts of copies of them, so they never sold to anybody, really, which is very unfortunate because their sound is truly amazing for the time.
They're really good, but I want to know why you picked it.
Oh, it's the last day of September, and that's basically the name. So we're entering spooky season.
We are entering spooky season.
Now, hopefully, you can continue giving me some good songs.
Yeah,
to listen
and
to.
you too.
Well, that's the whole point. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but up next, John, Hayden, and Audrey are going to be talking about the Rolling Stones Top 500 Songs and Albums list. Stay tuned.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
What's Hawkin' Hawks? I'm Hayden.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm John.
Today we're going to be talking about the Rolling Stones Top 500 Albums and Songs list. So we have 2 experts. She looked at all the songs and he looked at all the albums.
Yes.
What are you guys thinking?
That's a loaded question. But I will start off with saying that Respect by Aretha Franklin was the #1 song. And I honestly am okay with that. I'm very okay with that placement. I respect that placement. Yes, I do R-E-S-P-C-T.
A very culturally significant song it was. You know, it's an African-American woman in what, the 70s when it came out?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I actually don't remember.
I think somewhere around there. Sorry, don't burn me for that. But yeah, I mean, it's a very culturally significant song. It was huge for the time. She did a lot. She took a lot of risks, and she was just straight up, man. She just wanted some respect. So.
Yeah, she was Aretha.
Good for her.
Aretha.
She killed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess for number one for the albums was Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. And as much as I'm like, I just know what's going on. I don't know like the songs in that album.
You know what's going on.
I just know, I just know the song What's Going On.
I actually haven't listened to the whole record as a whole.
I know.
Okay,
So,
honestly,
yeah.
I thought it was just like a single for some reason. But I don't know.
I
so.
know, and I hate that, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah,
So-
one of my favorite songs on there was Thank You Next by Ariana.
Where
What
was
rank
that?
was that?
It was 137 on
Wow.
the list, so she was in the
Okay.
top 200.
Which is good.
Go Ari, let's go.
Good, yeah.
I was surprised to honestly see her on there at all. I mean, not really, but I was at the same
How
time.
new is the song?
Came out in 2020. I think in
Really?
the beginning of 2020, yeah, like in January. Pretty
thought
sure that's when that
2019.
album came out. Maybe the song came out in 2019.
Yeah, the song.
But I'm pretty sure the album came out in 2020, from what I can remember.
Like, I don't know. For me, the newer songs, like anything within the past 5 years, I have a hard time thinking of that as like a greatest song of all time.
Yeah.
You know, because like
That's
how
fair.
much time has it really gone through?
Yeah.
Right.
But like,
It's like, is it just because it got a lot
Yeah,
of
exactly.
listening, recognition? Yeah.
and that's kind of the one thing with like either of these lists too, since music is so subjective. Like you
Yeah.
can have everybody vote on it, but
Uh-huh.
like it's really hard to come to one consensus, I
Yeah.
guess.
And that's actually a great point. Because
Thank
I
you,
thought
thank
about
you.
that when I saw, I thought about that when I thought about, like, if I can speak English, bro, okay. When I saw Greatest of All Time, I was like, I hope I don't see any, like, Giveon. Like, I respect them,
No, yeah,
but
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about all time.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Billie Eilish.
Where
I
was
was
she
like,
at?
I don't remember what song it was,
enough.
but it was like, I would say in the 300s, maybe
Uh-huh.
200s.
What song?
When We All Fall Asleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was, or no, that is a lie. That would have been the album. It was Bad Guy.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was like, it was something, yeah, you did albums.
That makes
I was like,
sense.
oh.
No.
But yeah.
I
Any
s-
favorite albums for you that you saw on there?
Yeah, there was quite a few. So I was glad. So it was weird because the 500 is top 500.
Yeah.
Harry Styles' Fine Line was 491.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he made it. And like I'm happy
Go
he's on there,
Harry,
but like
okay.
I could see like I don't know, it was just like
Were there any One Direction albums on there? Or
I didn't scroll
because
that.
I think
didn't
that's
scroll that
pretty
deep.
funny.
I didn't. I
He
could,
got on there, but
I
nobody else did.
wonder,
That
I
would suck.
wonder.
Obviously went the right direction.
Right. The right
Obviously.
direction. and I caught
Obviously,
that.
Obviously.
Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly was 19.
I completely agree with
That's
that.
high up.
Yeah.
That
I-
is very
That
high.
was
That's why I
very
was
high
like
up.
mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I was like, I respect Kendrick. I love
Yeah.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
But
I-
like 19?
I mean, dude, that's gonna be that's an album that is going to withstand the test of time, and I will bet money in my life on that because the lyricism of Kendrick Lamar is not combated by anybody else in the game today, in my opinion. Like, To Pimp a Butterfly did so much for his career as well as just the area he grew up in. I think like if you go onto Spotify and look up West Coast Classics or stuff like that, there's already Kendrick stuff on there, which is crazy to me because there's NWA on there and there's Tupac and then there's him, and it's like what is
Yeah.
this? So
Well,
it's,
I can see that.
It's a really cool thing.
He made
I
his
think that
way
he's
in
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad Britney made it on there twice on the top 500. Oh, whoa. What was that? I was about to say. I was like, free Britney, but.
Free Britney. Fair enough.
Whoa.
That's
But
our
yeah,
next topic.
Toxic was 114. So
Was
go
it?
Britney.
Okay.
And then what was the other one? Oh, Baby One More Time was at 205.
Okay.
So I was
Brittany
like,
deserves
I
to be
know,
on there.
I know, she deserves
She did
that.
a lot for pop.
I know.
yeah,
people don't talk
I'm
about
glad
that.
she's on there. I was,
Pop queen, maybe?
Yeah. I
She
mean,
is one of the pop queens, I would say. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say
no,
like,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure. I don't know why. I was thinking of
Not
new
the
age
top.
pop. Not
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Because Ariana, I'd say, is like, you know,
Currently.
Yeah.
kind of
The
the queen
queen
of pop
The
right
queen
now.
of pop.
You heard it first.
You heard it
You
first
heard it
right
first
here.
here,
Yeah.
Ariana.
Sweet queen of pop. I
Like-
saw.
No, go.
Go.
You go.
Beyonce was 32 for Lemonade, and she was on. Wasn't she on the songs too? I'm sure she was.
Yes. What was the song? I don't remember which song it was. What
Yeah.
was her most popular song from that album? I can't remember.
From Lemonade.
Formation. No.
Formation
yeah,
was
Formation.
on there.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was in the ranking, but I saw
Yeah.
that on the songs, top 500 songs.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. Beyonce's queen, obviously.
Beyonce's queen,
yeah, she's
Queen
queen.
bee.
Yes.
She
She got. Oh.
Go ahead. You know,
I was
I'm
gonna
just-
say,
I'm
did you
just
guys
rolling
say?
through it.
Did you see anything weird on there? Like any like, because for me, I saw that Gasolina was number 50, and I was
And then-
like,
yeah.
Gasolina?
That-
I
saw
was
we-
like, wait, wait. When did that become like I mean, I know it was a popular song,
Yeah.
but like
I don't
when
even remember
did it
it, dude.
become in the top 50?
Yeah.
I was like,
I heard it at homecoming once, and everyone knew the lyrics, and I was like, "That's
yes,
dope." I would
get
just
down
yeah.
with it. for
Slacking on the
sure.
lyrics, John.
I guess
Come on, man.
so. I guess so.
I think the fact that Weezer is on the top 500 is kind of a
Really?
yeah. I'm not a big Weezer fan. I'm
That's
not gonna
fair,
lie. I think I
that's
got some
fair.
people on crew that might dislike me for that, but
See,
overall, I think
See, I
Weezer
live
is-
with 3 boys who love Weezer, so
Ooh.
they be playing Weezer
I'm
all the
sorry,
time.
man.
It's no.
well, it was
it's
just
not.
Weezer Wednesday, I guess.
That's true.
So,
That's
there you
true.
go.
That's
I'm
true.
not gonna lie, I didn't know who Weezer was until I came to this class.
Good.
So
You should have never came.
good.
Good.
I
Should have
should've
never
came.
came.
Okay. I've never listened to it, so him. Is it a band?
Yeah, it's a band.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Is it a band? Oh my god, I love that.
Well,
that was the trio.
That was fun.
We'll be
We
catching
are
you
the
guys
trio.
some other week.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. I'm Nathan,
I'm Nathaniel.
and we're back with our third Eagles album of their first 6, On the Border. So what did you think? What were your first impressions?
Well, this is probably the first Eagles album I actually ever listened to, and the first song that I actually ever heard on here was "Old 55." That was my first ever Eagles song. And
Yeah.
we were talking about what was the best song on the album, and we were kind of arguing about that because our
Yeah.
top 2
Yeah.
are the same except in different orders.
Yeah.
But I just have a strong history with that song.
Well,
and it's really great.
If it's the first song you heard, it's going to stick in your head a little bit more. It's going to have more of a personal touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, "Best of My Love" is the best song on this album, and personally, it's probably my favorite Eagles song throughout their discography, and I would argue that it is their best song, at least in my opinion.
But I'm not going to disagree with you that is one of their best songs because it is so great.
Yeah.
There are almost every single song in this album is great too. Even the filler songs on here are really good too.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. This is kind of where you see the Eagles start to get their sound a little bit more into the late 70s, because this is, even though Don Felder does not play on this entire album, the first, you could say, really rocked out track that the Eagles were known for, Already Gone. He plays lead guitar on here and he plays slide guitar. And that's kind of where the Eagles really start to get their signature sound that you'll hear on later albums. And even though Don Felder didn't join the band for the entire album, he obviously is in the band not long after they put this out, because they want that second guitarist to complement Bernie Lynn and Glenn Frey. So, I'm curious. You say that Old 55 you think is the best on this album, and obviously you think Best of My Love would be second, because we do agree on that. What do you think comes after that? Because obviously we've agreed that those are the main 2.
Well, I mean, you can't really go wrong with Already Gone on here too. And I know you do not really like this song, but
No.
I really like James Dean as well.
Yeah.
That was one I discovered way later after I became an Eagles fan. And
Yeah.
even though this is the first time I listened to, I didn't really think about it much the first time I heard it, but then I heard it again, and
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites.
I would tend to agree that Already Gone is probably the third best track on here, and it's also maybe the best known track off of here, because that tends to get the most radio play. And now that I think of it, there's actually a very curious story behind this album as a whole, because when they started producing and recording it, they were still recording with Glenn Johns in England, but Glenn Frey and Don Henley especially were getting pretty tired of him not giving them any input and not letting them have the more input into the making of the album, and so they ended up basically scratching Glenn Johns and going to wow, okay,
Can't even think of the name right now.
yeah, Simsic.
But anyway, they switched.
Bill Simsic. And then they got more input, and that's when they started to get more rocked out. But Best of My Love was one of the 2 songs actually recorded with Glenn Johns. And even though it eventually became their first #1 single, Glenn Frey was very reluctant to actually release it because he didn't really want Glenn Johns getting credit for one of their better songs. So what would you rate this album?
You know, these are all great albums that we've gone through, and you know, it kind of feels disrespectful if you're giving any of these like less than like an 8 or an 8.5 or a 9. This one in here, it's not as good as Desperado in my opinion. So probably gonna say this one's like 8.75 for me.
Yeah, I'd probably give it around that same. Maybe I'd get up to 9 because I personally think this is their most, besides Desperado, it's their most underappreciated album. Desperado at least aged well. People started to see its genius in a sense. This still doesn't really get the credit it deserves.
But unlike Desperado, where there was just that one song, you know, that kind of just like grew in popularity over time, this had several on here that have been fan favorites for a very long time.
So yeah, I would tend to agree probably in that 8.75 to 9 range. All right, next week we'll be back with one of these nights, and we'll go to break, and then we'll come back for This Week in History.
Welcome back, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Andrew, and welcome to This Week in History. In 1965, the Beatles cartoon show debuted on ABC. A total of 39 episodes were produced and ran for 2 years on American television.
In 1980, Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham died at 32. Bonham was found dead at guitarist Jimmy Page's house after a heavy night of drinking. The autopsy reported that his cause of death was suffocation on his own vomit.
In 1991, Nirvana released Nevermind. Entering the charts at 144, it eventually reached the top spot of the Billboard chart in January 1992. It has sold over 30 million copies worldwide and includes Smells Like Teen Spirit, Lithium, and In Bloom.
Also in 1991, Miles Davis died at 65 from a stroke. Davis is considered a pioneer in the jazz industry and has been cited as a major influence for many jazz musicians and is credited with one of the best jazz albums of all time, Kind of Blue.
In 2003, Robert Palmer died of a heart attack at 53 in Paris, France. As a solo artist, he had several big hits in the mid-'80s, including Addicted to Love and Simply Irresistible. He also was a member of the supergroup Power Station, with several members of Duran Duran.
In 2018, Marty Balin died at 76. He was a founding member of the influential Jefferson Airplane and had several big hits with the band in the late 60s, including White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
That's all for this week in history. Tune in next Thursday at 4 and be sure to follow us on our socials, on Twitter and Instagram. Have a good night.